Hello traders and welcome to the channel. In this video I'm going to have a Zoom call with one of my students, Kevin. Now he trades my day trading strategy on US 30 and in the last 35 trading days he's made almost 1200% profit. So how did he do it? That's what we're going to find out. Now if you'd like to learn the strategy yourself, go to my website readfx.com, click on courses, and the day trading strategy is this one here. Click on that button. Right, let's go and speak to Kevin. Okay, so I'm on Zoom with Kevin. Kevin, thank you very much for agreeing to do this. What I'm going to do is just take everyone through your results that we can see on the screen now, and then I'm going to ask you a couple of questions and we'll jump over to TradingView and you can sort of explain what it is that you've been doing. So first of all then, Kevin, can you just start by telling us how much you deposited and the results that you've got so far?
So I initially deposited 100 euros. Then I traded it to 1000. That was the initial goal. I took half out and now the account is sitting at 650 euros.
Okay, awesome. So you started with 100 euros and we've been through your trade history, which we're going to look at in a second on the calendar. Now we think there's about 35 trading days. Now you actually hit 10x at about 29 or 30 days. Then you've withdrawn 500 euros at that point. So you've reset the account, you've reset the risk. And then you've continued to trade and you've made more money since then. So your overall gain, as we can see here on the Stats.ca, is sitting just below 1200%, okay? And you can see in the MT5 terminal at the bottom down here, these figures match up nicely. So if you don't mind them, mate, if you want to just jump onto the calendar and let's have a look at the kind of the day by day.
Yeah.
So let's see. This is where you started then. So
this is where I started, yes.
Looks like October, yes. Yeah. So if you want to just scroll across one, go to October for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can see like there's one day where you've not traded, it looks like, and then you've traded pretty much the whole of October. And I think the gain, I'm just squinting so I can see, is at 554% in October. That's absolutely incredible. Okay, that's really impressive. If you want to just go to the next month, let's have a look. Okay, so first thing I can see is there's a big 3-week gap. So why is there a gap in the trading?
So this was when the US elections were coming up.
US elections, okay. So you decided not to trade for the US election, which is very wise. Yeah. And obviously you made a lot less that month. Now, did you alter your risk at all during this time?
Well, no, I didn't trade at all during this time. And then when I started again, about 2 weeks after, I think, I just used my normal risk again.
All right, okay. And then let's just have a look at the next month. Let's have a look at, well, the current month, December. Okay, so obviously we're just seeing lots and lots of blue numbers and you're already up, is that 76% already halfway through the month? So this is pretty awesome. I'm sure the people watching this are dying to know exactly what you're doing, what you're risking, that kind of thing, because the performance is very, very impressive. So if you don't mind, what we'll do now is we'll jump over to TradingView. I'll pause the recording for a sec and then I'll ask you some questions. Okay, mate?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so we've just jumped over to TradingView and Kevin's actually got a couple of trades on now and he's going to explain those. But first, I'm just going to ask a couple of questions. So you've said that you're trading the normal day trading strategy where you're essentially going for like 50 points at a time on US 30. Have you changed anything? Have you adapted it in any way? Have you changed anything at all about the strategy?
No, not at all. I always just trade between the 50-point zones.
Okay, so you're following the strategy exactly. Perfect. Yeah. So how much do you typically risk per trade then?
So what I like to do is start at a very low account that I'm willing to lose.
Yep.
Or I'm okay with losing. And then risk 10% per zone. So that's a lot. So for me, this was 10 euros per zone on my 100 euro account. And then as the account grows, I'm not changing this number. So the higher the account gets, the less risk I'm taking.
Okay, so just to be clear then, you started with a very, very small amount that you were happy to lose, which is 100 euros. Now, the percentage that you're risking, which is 10%, 10% as a risk is very, very high. But because your account balance is so small, it's insignificant. It's literally 10 euros per zone. And you're happy to take that risk. So this has been pre-planned and you knew the risk before you started. So that's a very good way of doing it. Now, the next question I have then is, what time do you typically trade? What sessions are you trading? And is there any times that you avoid trading?
So I trade between London and New York. Start around 9 a.m. in the morning. And it kind of depends how big my account is, because when I start the account and my risk is the highest, then I avoid the transition into New York when the market opens. But if my account is a bit higher, so around 500 euros, and I'm still only risking 10 euros per zone, then I'm more okay with keeping the trades open.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Now, I can see that you've got some levels drawn on the chart here. Are you using the exact levels from the strategy? So you're using the 250 round numbers, the 1,000 point round numbers, and then you're trading on the 50 points. Have you changed anything, or is this exactly the levels that you're using?
This is the exact levels I'm using.
Okay, so when a trade goes against you, and in fact, we might as well take a look at the example that you've got on right now. So I can see that you put a buy trade on, and then prices started to drop. So that second trade, in fact, let me just do this with the cursor so people can see. So you've entered trade one at this level here. Okay, so this is a buy trade, and the market has now dropped. And this is where you've put on your second buy trade. And this distance here is 50 points, isn't it? So
Yeah.
we can see that price is currently dropping. Will you be adding again at this third level here? So another 50 points.
Yeah, I'll just be adding again.
Okay. So next question, and this is what everyone wants to know, is where do you cut trades? So right now this trade is moving against you. But what happens if it goes another level and then another level? Is there a maximum where you're going to cut, or is there anything that makes you cut a trade?
Typically, there's nothing that makes me cut a trade because, like I said, I'm willing to risk the entire account. That's the idea behind my approach and strategy. However,
Okay.
there are a few moments where I would cut, which is, for example, if I start a low account and there's big news coming or the market is going to open in New York, then I would close a trade.
Okay.
Also, before a market closes in the evening, I would close trades. However, I haven't had to do that because I opened my last trade at 6 p.m. and so far I've always been out of the trade in time.
Okay.
But let's say I wasn't, then I would cut the trade before the market closes.
Right. So there's only a couple of instances then when you would cut a losing trade, and
Yeah,
neither of those really are anything to do with what's going on the chart. It's to do
yeah,
with something that's about to happen in terms of events or sessions or market close and stuff like that. So that's really interesting, because what you're basically saying is you're 100% committed to the strategy and you give the market the room it needs to breathe. So you just stick to the plan, you add at each level, you already know the risk, it's predetermined. My next question to you was going to be, what's your maximum loss or equity stop? And you kind of, well, you have answered that, because you've essentially said you are happy with the initial risk, the 100 euros you put in, and you're willing to risk the whole account. So you're just going to let the market do its thing. And for the last 35 trading days, that's worked incredibly well for you, and you're now up 1,200% just because you literally gave the market the room to breathe. So I'll be honest, I am really, really impressed with the results that you've got. I'm sure everyone watching this is. Thank you very much for taking the time to share this with us, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of your results in the future, mate.
yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much.